I think this new feature is like lagging out my Discord.
It's a little bit buggy, I think.
Yeah.
You see what it's doing to like my shoulders?
Yeah.
They're like ghosting in and out of existence and
Welcome back to the Bunkercast. I am Stuart Lore, and today I am joined by Riley, or Stickman Ninja. How's it going?
Good.
So, okay, here's what's happening right now. So we're using Discord, and we got some video backgrounds going on in the back here, but it is being so weird. It's like stuttering right now.
my arm, dude. See my arm?
Bro, it's like it's literally I'm watching it in like 5 frames per second on my other monitor, but in recording it's fine. Like no one can see it as like really laggy or whatever. But anyways,
Okay.
so if you guys didn't know, there's this new feature on Discord where you could change your video background. So that's why we look like this. I have a blur. I don't know how long I'm gonna. I guess I'll keep it there for the whole podcast, even though I look like I'm having an acid trip on my other monitor. So, anyways, why don't you introduce yourself for the viewers or listeners?
Sure, yeah, I go by Stick, usually. Just the shorter way of saying Stickman Ninja. I'm a member of the EvoTech server, which is a community that Emblor and I are both part of. I usually take part in a lot of the events on the server. I play a lot of Minecraft, some other strategy games and things like that are usually my forte. I stream on Twitch.
True.
Ooh.
I love how you said take part.
Jazz hands.
Take part in the events, even though you organize most of them.
I didn't want to throw that out there off the bat. You know, you got to lead them into that, right? It's like, oh my gosh, he takes part in the events, and then later on, you squeeze it in there. It's like, oh, he makes the events. Oh, this guy's pretty cool, right?
Bro.
I don't want to scare him right off the bat.
Yeah, well, you have event organizer in your Twitter bio, so you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, once they get there and click that follow button.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Yeah. By the way, here's my Twitter. Now you know that I'm actually an event planner.
Got him.
But yeah, okay. So you have. I'm trying to think of how long you've been in the group because I'm freaking blanking. You've been in the group for like what? 5 years?
I don't know. When did Discord become popular? Because it was around then.
True. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember.
Because it was right... Because I still knew all you guys from Skype, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was during the migration period.
That might have been around 2016?
That sounds right. 2015, 2016.
Okay.
Because I still, for some reason, I remember all of, like, my group chats on Skype, right?
Yeah.
All the voice and video calls. I remember what they were all called, and I don't remember any after 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So, it had to have been around then. And you're actually the one that invited me to EvoTech, so thanks for that.
The freaking background blurred my hand, and then it came into focus. What is this, bro? It's so glitchy. But yeah, so only recently have you like started to actually. I'm not saying this as like a god, you were slacking off the whole time, but like you started to take like a leadership position more recently, which is pretty dope.
I think it probably started around last charity stream, which would be last April, is when I started taking charge of like events and stuff and planning things like that.
I think it was mostly due to like me suddenly being like the new sole leader of the group. And
I knew you couldn't do it, so
because I was like too busy to organize everything, and so it was like you and Denise just kind of like went ham on organizing a lot of stuff.
I was like, look, Stu, you take care of the rules and regulations, I'll take care of the fun part. You could be like the bad boss, where I'm the fun boss.
Right, exactly. You're the one that takes everyone out for like a pizza party.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that's like, get back to work.
What are you guys doing?
We need to. This is a factory here.
Where's the daily TikTok?
That is pretty dope, especially because we have to start preparations for the next one soon.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 months or 5 months away, but you know.
It's funny because I'm already thinking about the next charity stream like every day.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like it just comes to the forefront of my mind when I'm just doing stuff now. I'm like, oh, do I want this in the charity stream? You know, it's such like a big part of EvoTech's history and culture.
Yeah.
EvoTech culture, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge thing around the world. So
but yeah, we've had most of our success through those charity streams, seeing a lot of people that, you know, we normally would not interact with, show up and support. And I think I'm trying to remember what our biggest one was. Probably most recently we raised like 3,000 or 4,000.
It was like 3,500, 3,400.
Okay.
For Extra Life.
Yeah.
For, I think it was Children's Network Miracle Hospitals or something like that.
Yeah.
In Richmond, I believe.
Yeah, specifically that one.
Yes.
So.
Because they make you pick a specific hospital when you're like going through on the Extra Life page.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we're coming up on it again. And with it being 5 months away, I still haven't fulfilled my my incentive that we had.
You and me both, buddy. We still have to do the tattoos.
We still have to do the tattoos. We
Yeah.
promised to get EvoTech tattoos. I was supposed to dye my beard pink.
Yeah, Stu promised to get his tattoo on his face.
I don't know about that. That did not happen at all.
Imagine just a big torch on your nose or something.
Yeah, dude. No, I just need like a torch under each eye.
Yeah. Facing inward.
Yeah, facing inward, so it looks like I just have like a big mustache on my cheek.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm hoping to do that soon. I'm trying to figure out what dye I'm gonna have to use or whatever. That's not gonna be toxic this time, because last time I was trying to bleach my beard and literally was inhaling so many toxic fumes that we had to stop, and I had to there was just no way that we were gonna use that.
Hear me out, right? Mm-hmm. You get a tub of Cool Whip, and you get some red food coloring. Yeah. Pink bearded Santa coming soon,
bro.
Don't grab that. Your hand goes invisible every time you grab that. Oh. It can't decide if it wants to be in or out of frame.
It's like half blurred. What is going on? Recently, Thanksgiving happened. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Myself and Myrtle got invited to go hang out with you guys during your Friendsgiving, you and Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty fun. I had to drive 5 hours, but it was fine because I had coffee and podcasts. So yeah, it was a vibe. But so me and Myrtle stayed at this really nice Airbnb. There was a big it was like a really nice neighborhood, and it was super massive homes and properties. So we pull up, and there's a private little driveway to the right, specifically for the Airbnb. It was a guest house off of the main house, which I thought it would be like a garage, like converted into like an Airbnb.
Well, it was really weird because I went and saw it, right?
Yeah.
And it looked like they literally cut off a section of this house and just put a wall in between, like straight down the middle. But it was a big house.
Yeah.
Too. It wasn't like just like some small house that they just cut off a section of it. They just like put a line down the middle and said, "This is your part."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there was a door connecting that like we couldn't open or whatever. So
I believe that.
So yeah, I feel like it was part of the house, but they were like, all right, we'll just like lock this off so that we can
convert this part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. It's very spacious and stuff. So yeah, that was like crazy because I did
although
not
the couch was
good.
like 800 feet from the TV, which I found to be very interesting.
Yeah. And then there's not even like a bedroom. It's just like you have the living room and then it just goes farther back and there's a bed.
It was just there.
So that was interesting, but yeah, it was very cool. And then we did the Friendsgiving with some of your family and friends. And that was really fun. We had like some games going on, of course, as gamers do.
These true gamers.
Yep.
Yeah, we got you through the door, and I immediately told you that you're solving a murder.
Yes, true. Yeah, so he had one of these like freaking
the case files.
Yeah, it was a case file thing, and so I have to like open it up and go through the steps of like trying to solve a murder. And so that was interesting. And I was struggling for sure. And I ended up partnering up with your lady friend to solve that. And then it was a struggle because so the strategy we went in with immediately was to narrow down the suspects by just like reading their descriptions and tossing them out, because the main thing that was like given to you was clearly it was a dude that was left-handed and strong, and so we were just like, yep, this guy's right-handed, toss him out, gone don't need him, right?
Not even gonna read any of his reports or
literally
anything about him.
Did not read anything about him. He was just like irrelevant. And so then we got stuck, and I'm like, maybe let's just read this thing over here that we've been avoiding for a while. So I pick it up. I look at like some of the evidence and stuff, and I'm like, oh.
You can see your face just like light up.
Yeah, I was like, his car was there when he said he wasn't gonna be there. All right. Anyways, so yeah, we eventually solved it, and I highly suggest getting it for yourself. I don't know what it's actually called.
It's case files, and it was the case of Harmony something. It's usually the first one that pops up when you look up like case files or something. I got it on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. So case files. I'm trying to look it up right now. Oh, okay.
I think it is just case files.
Murder mystery case files.
Yeah.
Or unsolved case files. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. And it was Harmony Ashcroft. That was the one that we played, and it was very good.
Right.
So Myrtle, Hayden, and I did it the night before, which is the reason why, like, we put it all back together, and then we're like, oh man, we got to make Detective Nasty solve this case. Detective Nasty is our guy right here, Embler, in case you were unaware. That is his detective name. He chose it himself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So So yeah, that was very fun. I definitely want to do one of those again because I love like solving mysteries and stuff like that. It was very fun.
And you did really well, honestly. Like, pretty much the same as us. It was a little bit slower because you just had two of you to go through all this stuff rather than the three of us.
Right.
But we spent like 2.5 hours on it when we did it, and had a lot of fun. So it's actually, I feel kind of bad now, like looking back over it. I'm sure it didn't bother you that much, but we were just like looming over you the entire time you were going through all the evidence, and like just standing behind you, staring at you. When you set that file off to the side, everyone, like me, Myrtle, and Hayden, all just looked at each other and went,
We're like,
um.
Myrtle literally walks over and she goes, "Yo, why did you guys leave that over there?" We're like, "Oh, he doesn't matter. He's irrelevant." Yeah. We literally freaking Donowalled this guy, bro. We literally just set him to the side like he didn't matter. All right. Anyways.
Like he's some random stranger. He wouldn't be in the case file.
Yeah. Anyways, so it was pretty fun. And then we ended up playing some other games as well. Like Mixtape was pretty dope.
Mixtape was really fun.
It's basically where it's like what am I trying to say here?
You're given like a situation, kind of, or
yeah,
a theme that you're trying to fit.
Yeah,
and you have to solve what would best fit the scenario with music.
It's like you're making a soundtrack to life. You're literally like finding a song to fit a particular scenario, which was pretty dope. Because I am a music fiend, and so I was like trying to catch some dubs, you know. But
yeah, at the end of the game, Stu's like, "How many cards you got?"
Yeah, I was
like 2, and he's like, "Well, I got 3."
I'm the most musically oriented. Let's go, W. And then later we had like a lot more people. And we played One Night Werewolf, which is pretty cool. I've played Werewolf before, and like Mafia and stuff, but never like One Night Werewolf, where
the
it's
One Night variant is just so much more chaotic.
Yes, it very much is. So essentially, you are given roles as you normally are in like a game of Werewolf or Mafia or whatever. However, people have the potential to switch your role with something else. So you literally have no idea if you actually are the role that you think you are. Unless you're a certain role which knows that your role didn't switch or did switch. So it gets pretty crazy because some people think they're the werewolf and they're trying to scam everyone. And then other people actually are the werewolf. And then you have like the normal people that are trying to like root out who everyone is, and then you have as well like the freaking, it's not the jester in One Night Werewolf, but it's something else, right?
The tanner.
They
hate their job so much. They want to be eliminated, we'll say.
So I didn't know what a tanner was except for just like a usually ripped dude. So I looked it up. It's just a leather worker. My man hates working with leather.
But you don't understand like how bad it is to work with that. Like, it's such a bad job.
Wait, why is that?
So if I just looked up why do tanner, and like the first things come up with is like, why do tanneries smell and stink, right? It's because it's an odorous job that's basically involves a lot of urine, animal feces, and decaying flesh.
Oh. Yeah, that does not sound fun.
Yeah, it's not the greatest job. Especially with like the atmosphere of One Night Werewolf, where you're like probably less modernized than the modern day trade, right?
Yeah.
So like in the olden days, think of like how much it would suck as a job.
True. That's fair. You're like eating the cityscape behind you.
Yeah. Delicious.
So yeah, that was a blast. And I was like just randomly bonding with certain people there that I was like working with, like I was in cahoots with as like a werewolf or whatever. So yeah, that was a blast. And then obviously we had some good food, which was it was an interesting size of people for Thanksgiving because I never had that size of people. So like I've had a small group where everyone's usually talking or eating or whatever. It's not too awkward or weird. I've had large groups where everyone is talking like almost always. Like there's never any moments of quiet. And then there was this size of group, which was like it was a very long table, and there would be conversations mostly, right, amongst people, and then there would be moments of just dead quiet, where I was so scared to start talking, right?
But there's a reason you're scared to start talking. It's because you did start talking during one of those moments.
So I was like going to be talking about like gaming related stuff, like EvoTech related stuff, and so I start talking and I realize it's so quiet, and I'm just like, I don't remember what I said, but it was like,
you have to, yeah. So setting the scene, it was a very long table with like 25 people here, right? And I know most of them because they're either my friends or Hayden, who's my sister-in-law's friends, who's another Evo technician. Hey, Drockstein, check her out. But so it was either her friends, my friends, or my brother's friends. And so Stuart here knew probably like, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 people, probably, right, in the whole table. So he didn't know everybody, but he knew like a good amount to have a lot of fun and get to know people and be comfortable, hopefully. So at one period of time, Stu's like across the table from me, and he's like, so I wanted to talk to you about the streaming schedule or something like that. And then it just goes dead quiet. And then on the other side of the table, like, and Stu doesn't want to like fill this space with his own conversation about
I hate filling the
stuff.
void with my voice talking about EvoTech things.
Yeah. So from the other side of the table, Rob, who's a good friend of mine I used to work with, just screams, "Yeah, go on, we're all listening!"
It was so awkward. I was looking around, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep talking about this stuff. It was so funny. I don't know. I've dealt with awkward situations, but that was one for sure.
You're really put on the spot for that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Man brought his Switch. Freaking Rob.
Yeah, he brings it all the time. His car is just like filled with board games.
Yeah, I saw like
amazing.
He had like a one of those like books of like Switch games that you could just like flip through. I was like, this man is out here, like he's got the full setup. So yeah, so we played some Jackbox games, and I think that was when you guys went to our Airbnb and just like hang out and watch stuff or whatever. So then after I was playing some Jackbox games with some
you crushed it, by the way, in that first game.
Oh yeah.
Or the second game? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Went off.
It was no contest, honestly.
Dude, that was really fun. There was the game where you like piece together like sentences from words that other people have made, like sentences that other people have made. So it was really interesting because I got some interesting sentences sent to me. So
I mean, as long as you could fit dragons in, you were usually good.
True. I don't know what it was about when we were playing that, but any time that dragons was in there, it would just win. Like, we were just like, oh my god, yo, dragons. Crazy, bro. So yeah, so I got a ride back to the Airbnb from Paige, one of your friends. And so I sent her the address. Like I texted it to her, and then, we're driving. We're having conversations about like a whole bunch of stuff, like what I do for work, and like we were even talking about like Melee, and like I think like she does like coding stuff or whatever, and it ends up being like 35 minutes, and then
which I think your Airbnb was like a 25-minute drive.
yeah,
or
it was
something,
it was a 20-minute drive. And so I didn't even notice how long it had been, by the way, because I was so like wrapped up in the conversation. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, we're pulling up to it," and she pulls into a neighborhood, and it's like suburban. It's not at all like the spacious neighborhood that my Airbnb is in. And I pull up the map because I'm like, I don't know if this is it.
This isn't what I remember. I was just here, I swear.
Yeah. Keep in mind this was in like South Carolina, like kind of towards the middle of it, kind of. I don't know.
No, it's it's near Charlotte.
Okay.
Is where you ended up, I'll say.
Right. Yeah. So we're almost to the state border of North Carolina. And I'm like, this is not it at all. This is not where we're supposed to be. And she was like, I was wondering why it was like 20, 30 minutes out of the way. So yeah. So then it ended up being an hour drive, because then we went all the way back to the Airbnb. And I kind of felt bad, but apparently there's 2 places in the county that have the same address. Or like the same street name. Like, who does that?
South Carolina.
Like,
they'll do whatever they want, dude.
Bro, I was like, no, this isn't the right address. Oh, well, I guess it is technically. Like, it was so weird, man. But yeah, it was a good time all around, though. Had a blast. Had some good food.
It's great seeing you.
Yeah.
I think everybody seemed to have a good time, especially from like the EvoTech side.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah, so then here at home, I had Thanksgiving with my dad, his twin brother, so my uncle, and then my aunt, and then my other aunt came over, hung out. It's pretty fun. So yeah, we had some good food there, and then I think later that night my sister was feeling sick, and so like went to bed early. Next morning, super sick, woke up with a fever and like a sore throat. So we just got her tested yesterday to see if she has COVID/strep throat. So we'll see how that goes. So that's not fun. So I had to miss out on my mom's get together. And kind of just like cancel on her, which sucked. But hopefully I can like set up dinner with her like next week or something. So yeah, that was my Thanksgiving. Spent the day taking care of my sister, canceling on my mom, and then sleeping.
I spent the day taking care of my 2 dogs, because my sister went down to Florida, and her 2 dogs, really, but her 2 dogs were, alone at the home, so I went over to take care of them for the 2 days that they were not gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to see them again. They're adorable as always. And then on the second day, which was Thanksgiving, her boyfriend came back and we got to hang out for the end bit of Thanksgiving, which was fun, and watch some anime or do whatever.
True.
Talk about D&D nerd stuff,
The vibes.
Real Thanksgiving vibes,
Yeah. Casual D&D.
Yeah, when the turkey grows really large and it ends up being the monster.
Oh my
the
gosh.
Whole fun.
Yo, that would be a fire one-shot campaign for Thanksgiving, bro.
For Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you eat it as the feast for the end, right?
Yeah, you finally shrink it down, and then it becomes the turkey again. And you can just
you Scooby-Doo it for sure.
Dude, that's so weird, bro. I don't understand Okay, let me just. Okay, so for anyone that has not seen the latest Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, right? There's literally a line where Doctor Strange is just like, "Yo, there's so much going on. Figure this out. Scooby-Doo this crap." And I'm like, who says that, bro? Like, freaking some guy in there. Yeah, I guess, right?
I had not seen it, by the way. This trailer.
Actually?
No, I haven't.
Where did you get that then?
I was referencing the turkey thing because there is an episode of Scooby-Doo. I think it's like the Witch's Ghost one, where they go into like some town or something, and then there gets to be a massively large turkey. That's
Wild.
a thing.
That's crazy. So, who says Scooby-Doo this or whatever?
Is there a problem? I mean, I'm already phasing in and out of existence, kinda. So
I know that there's gonna be better dialogue in the rest of the movie, but I that's just what a weird line. Like I just did not expect that kind of line in that movie. Just to be Scooby-Doo this crap. I've never heard Scooby-Doo used as a verb. Like, I would never expect it to be used as a verb, except by, like, a boomer or something.
Get Scooby-Dooed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just ripping your face off. That's what it is.
Yeah, taking off a mask.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for it, though, for the movie. It should be a good time. I literally watched all, like, the old Spider-Man movies on Thanksgiving, just like get caught up, since like there might be like, appearances.
The old Spider-Man movies, like
like the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire ones. And then unfortunately I watched The Amazing Spider-Man, which was very cringeworthy, to say the least. I actually closed my eyes during 2 separate scenes in that movie.
It is what it is, yeah. But I think they purposely did that way. So, but it was a little too good, which is worrisome.
I don't know that they purposely did. There was a scene that there's a couple scenes that look like they're improvised between like Andrew and freaking Emma Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That are it's literally he's like he wants to tell her he's Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah.
And he takes like so long to do it because he's like I want to tell you something, but no. Well, maybe. No, I won't tell. I can't tell you. Wait, no. It's so ridiculous. I'm like, bro.
And he just webs her mouth.
Yeah, like I'm like, what is this? Like he's just like he makes it so cringe and I don't know, dude. I know he's a good actor.
That's how he is in real life, though, isn't he?
No, that's not
entirely.
That was direction he was given. I'm pretty sure. Like they were just like, yeah, just spitball it, bro. Just like just take your time. It was I don't know. I think he's a good actor. He just
gotta stretch this movie out to like 4 hours. Make it take as much time as you need.
Yeah, take up all the watch time. We need some extra filler in here. Oh my gosh, dude. It was something. It's been also this movie has been out for ages, so I'm just gonna say this as well. He's kind of dating Gwen Stacy, right? Her father is the captain of the police, right? He's Captain Stacy. Mm-hmm. He goes to help Peter like fight the lizard or whatever. Dies in the process. As he's dying, he's like, don't bring Gwen Stacy into this. It's too dangerous. Like, don't date her, right? So the last part of the movie is him being like avoiding her, and then all of a sudden, with no warning whatsoever, he's just like, never mind, we can date, and then the movie ends. Like, he just doesn't keep his promise to the... It's so stupid, bro. I'm just like, alright, like, what was the point of all of this? So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about Spider-Man.
You're invested, I get it.
I am, dude. I really... I love the MCU, and I would really love for them to just make an appearance. You don't need to stay in the MCU too long, because, you know, you've had your time. But, like, I would love to just see that, like, cameo, because I think that'd be really cool. And I with all of, like, the leaks and stuff, like, it's just, like, at this point, it's like, come on. Like, we know. Andrew Garfield has actually been on multiple interviews where he's like, no, I'm not in the movie. He's, like, straight up just been like, no, I'm not in it. So he's either really good at his job, or he's just, I don't know. He's just not in it. But I feel like
he's just telling the truth.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's either lying really well, or he's being honest.
Those are the two.
We've narrowed it down.
Yep.
Way to go, Detective Nasty.
Let's go. I'm so good. Oh my god. Maybe there's a third option, which is he's actually Mephisto in real life. I don't know. All right.
He doesn't know he's in the movie, but he is in the movie.
Yes.
That's the third option.
Yes. But yeah, I'm a real nerd about like all the different theories about this movie. I've been like watching a lot of Marvel related things. I also just started watching Hawkeye.
Yeah, I'm so far behind on like all of the Marvel universe after like Endgame and whatnot. I decided to take like a breather, and man, I'm so far behind.
Yeah, you have a lot of shows to watch for sure.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Loki yet, and that's one that everybody's telling me I need to watch.
100%.
And then there's all the What If series that everybody's watching as well, which is really cool. I had one of my favorite like ideas that I thought up once. I don't know if it's even in the What If series. It probably isn't, but it's like I had a moment where I was like, what if the other 50% of the world was the 50% that got snapped?
True.
Right? Yeah. And like what happens then?
Yeah.
You know, that would be like a very cool
like if it's not Tony Stark, but it's like Peter that's like that stays alive.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the other group of people that got snapped away, you know, why do I forget his name? Samuel L. Jackson.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick Fury's alive, you know? And like what could they do at that point with those characters in order to solve the problem?
I mean, I feel like Captain Marvel still would have been called in, you know, because he would have been alive to do it. But I don't know. I don't know how else it would go. That's it. That is interesting. I think that's definitely like a good. That would be a good episode for it for sure. I like What If because of its possibility to extend for a long time, because there's so many different scenarios that you can make out of all that's happened in the MCU. So you could literally just sit there and like spitball a bunch of different ideas and just have like a whole season of episodes.
Well, that's the whole theory behind what ifs, right? It's like, well, I even remember growing up, is this like 6th grade, I had my social studies teacher, right? He every time you asked him a what if question, his response would be, "What if aliens came down and sucked your brains out?" Because he refused to answer what if questions.
Bro,
Because they're like so out of the blue. Like questions like, what happens if a fire drill and a tornado drill go on at the same time? You know, weird questions like that. You'd be like, well, I guess we're all screwed then. You know? What do you say?
Well, because teachers hate that. And they're like,
yeah.
What if I was at home and my dog ate my homework? Like what if I forgot my pencil? Like that sort of stuff. That's the what if questions they hate. But yeah, that's kind of funny.
That's the MCU what ifs. Yeah. Doctor Strange. What if Doctor Strange? I lost his Lamborghini.
What? But
buy a new one.
But Mr. Stark, what if I lost the suit? What if I left it at home? Yeah. No, I think I was definitely one of those kids that would just ask those questions.
Yeah.
Because I would forget a lot of things. So
well, because you never wanted to admit it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you forgot your homework or you left it at home or something. So it's like, so say I don't have this. What happens then? You know?
So just theoretically, just hypothetically, if I just left everything at home, like I didn't even bring my backpack, what would be the situation? Would I just not have to work?
Would I have to sit here and do nothing? Are you okay with that? Because that's what I'm feeling, right?
I'm totally down to just like opt out of today if you you know, if you need me to. Yeah.
Do you have a hall pass for the restroom or something? Because I can leave. You know,
just sleep. I don't think I paid much attention in later parts of high school. I think I was grinding edits and like content so hard that I would stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, have to get up at 6, and then just sleep during my classes. I was that guy that was asleep on my desk.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I was the kid that I didn't study, but I did really well on tests. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's the people that it was really weird because like in my junior year or something in math class, there was like just I took CP courses, so everybody sucks at everything, right? But being honest, I was in CP2. Give me a break. It's okay. But like the two people that would just always consistently get A's on tests were me and the other girl who sat next to me who fell asleep during every class. Right? And I wouldn't study at all or do homework. She would sleep through the class and do all the homework. So like we were opposites in that way. Yeah. But it was just weird that like we're the two people that are just doing really well in this class.
Yeah. So also in the later parts of high school, we had like Chromebooks. I don't know if you did it as well. You
got like netbooks. We got iPads, iPad minis.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I played Hearthstone through every class.
Dude, that's I had a friend that would just like play games during lessons. Like the teacher would be talking about something, and I just look over. He's playing like Bloons Tower Defense or something.
Yeah,
he was going at it.
I played that a lot too. Well, it was. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, nah. He even so he would like ace every test and like just be fine. You know.
Well, so what I'm saying is we were told. So when we were given the iPad minis, right? Like we had like a whole sign up thing before class starts or before school started, and we got to take them home and everything. Mm. We had like the iPad mini assigned to us. When we were given them, we were informed that they were planning to put all of our textbooks onto the iPad minis. And that's how it was supposed to work.
Okay.
But they didn't find out until after they got them that they weren't compatible with the iPad minis. Is what we were told, kind of. So everybody just had iPad minis that were, like, never used. So we just played games on them, right? So I played Hearthstone, and that's actually kind of how I got into Hearthstone, is I played in high school. And then when I went to college, I was invited to a actual like college tournament from some of my friends that I played Hearthstone with in high school, and they needed a third person, right?
Nice.
So that's how I actually got into like a more competitive scene in various games like Hearthstone and whatnot.
So, okay, please talk to me about competitive Hearthstone. Very
Competitive
interested in that.
Hearthstone.
Yeah.
So it's probably a lot different now than it was in 2017 or something when I was playing it. So this was through the tournament I played in was through TESPA, which is a group that does various they organize various tournaments through colleges. Usually it was the Collegiate series, which they do a lot of college tournaments for various games. I think they do League of Legends, Overwatch, things like that, and they have scholarship prize pools. That's kind of how it goes.
That's cool.
So this specific tournament that we did, we signed up online through their thing, and you got to enter in what college you're from. I was in Midlands Tech, so I signed up on Midlands Tech, and you got to pick a team name or whatever, and then it would automatically bracket you against other colleges and stuff. Right around the country.
Yeah.
And it would give us specific dates and times. So like, okay, you're playing once a week. You're doing a best of 3 every, or maybe once a week, and we do this for like 5 weeks, right? So we played, I don't know, 6:30 on a Tuesday night or something, or Thursday night. I don't remember what the day it actually was, but and the way this tournament was set up, it was actually Hearthstone, but it was an individual player playing, right? So we each worked together and came up with what deck lists we'd be submitting. So that's how like a lot of card games work, is you come up with deck lists.
Right.
And with Hearthstone, it's 30 card decks. So we played like Dragon Warrior, and things like that, which was the deck archetype that we played with. And we do best of 5s against the other team, who we got their username through the application. And you'd have to screenshot every victory, every loss, so that way you could report whether you won or lost or not, right? You'd submit it online, and then it would tell you who you're playing next week, etc. And you just keep going through and see how the bracket went. The actual competitive Hearthstone scene, it's really weird now, but back then I had a lot of fun with it. And I've played in various tournaments. I even played in like a 5K tournament in Indianapolis, which was the live stage tournament, which was a lot of fun. It was in Indie PopCon.
Cool.
And so I don't know what specifically you want me to talk about, like the setup.
Well,
part,
okay, so you said there were like 3 people in total.
Yeah, so that was crazy, and I haven't seen anything from a tournament since, but it's like a team, right?
Yeah.
So you have your hand of cards, and the 3 of you would have the same hand of cards, and you'd be talking over like, what is the best plan to do with these cards, right? So you're all 3 playing as one person.
Okay.
One mind, but only one person can control it, right? So
yeah.
You're all deciding like, hey, maybe we should do this in case they have that, etc. And a lot of like really high competitive Hearthstone is based around the possibility of what your opponent has. It's not just like play your best card every time. It's play your best card knowing what your opponent probably has in your hand. So you keep track of things like, hey, they haven't played that card since they drew it in the first turn. So it's probably a high-level card, a high-cost card or something. So we should worry about it being this card, which is really popular in the Dragon Warrior deck list or in Big Druid or, something like that, right? So in the competitive scene, it was really interesting to be able to talk with other people and hear their thoughts on what's happening through the game, right? Like, should we play more aggressively? Should we just throw everything on the board? Should we hold back some in case they have a flame strike, which could demolish your whole board? Things like that.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I feel like I would get so frustrated trying to make decisions with 2 other people controlling one person, essentially.
Yeah. It actually, you agree more often than you'd think.
Okay.
And usually, like, you can say what you think the best play is, and then the other people will say, well, I think this is better in case they have that, right? And you're like, oh, that makes sense, right?
Sure.
So it either makes sense or it doesn't make sense, right?
I mean, if you have a good team, like sure, like
Yeah.
communication's gonna go well and
Yeah.
make decisions.
But I mean, you only have like so many cards in your hand. It's not like you can have that many different opinions. If you got 5 mana, you're gonna play the 5 mana card probably, right? You're not, so like you also don't want to float mana. There's a lot of weird situations with that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did record some of the games that we played from that tournament and have it on my channel.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So, and you know, they were usually like best of 3s and stuff. It was a lot of fun though back then, playing through just like random people in a more competitive format, because I still haven't played recently in a format where I get advice from other people I'm playing with the same hand, right? Because there's obviously like streaming on Twitch where people can say, hey, you should do this, and then you're like, no, I'm not doing it. Right? Because you take chat with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, I don't think Twitch chat can count as like teammates.
And then there's the delay. It's not like they're talking in your ear.
Right.
They can't write a full essay on their opinion of why this card is the best for this situation.
You just see like you make a play and then you see a whole paragraph just pop up in chat, like why you shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's pretty cool though. I'm that's like such a cool like twist on like what you would think of as like a one-on-one format usually.
Yeah, well, usually with the actual upper end competitive formats, they do have teams, but they just they're on their own. They play on their own, right? Mm-hmm. Like they have teams for practicing and things like that, and that's the same for Age of Empires tournaments as well, which is completely different style of game, but it's still like a strategy game,
right?
And I find it really interesting actually, where all of the strategy game people go when a game starts dying out. Like Hearthstone, for instance, when it started dying out, everybody went to Teamfight Tactics.
Right.
Or Dota Auto Chess, or Magic the Gathering Arena was really popular for a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
And Age of Empires 4 just came out recently, and I've seen a ton of content about Age of Empires 4, which is a real-time strategy game. Right. Which is like why I find it so interesting that all these slow Hearthstone players are now playing like real-time strategy games.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to have really high APM for games like that. So, actions per minute.
Okay. I was like, what is that? I've never heard that before.
Yeah. It's basically just like how fast you can actually do stuff.
True.
Right.
Okay.
It's not like Hearthstone where you're like, I kind of want this card here. That's probably the best idea.
Yeah, you kind of have to be constantly doing stuff in an RTS. Like, just making sure these troops are still alive and doing what they got to do over here. And then, like, farming this stuff over here. And then,
producing
like, upgrading over here.
And extra units. Yeah.
It's a lot, for sure. In college, I was, like, gaming a lot. Between like classes and stuff, obviously, come on, like, and
during classes and stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
I would be like grinding Melee a lot, because my roommates were like really good, and so it kind of like gave me the motivation to want to get good as well. So after practicing with them for a lot of putting in a lot of hours practicing with them and getting slowly better, I went to a actual like tournament that was housed in like a some building on campus, and walked in. There were like they had the whole like LAN set up. You got like TVs and then like the GameCube controllers all set up everywhere. Got assigned my first match, sat down, smoked. Got absolutely smoked. I got 4-0'd.
Yeah.
It was not fun. Um, However, I'm very sad because I never went to another tournament since. I
Oh,
Even after improving at the game, I never went to another tournament. For whatever reason, I guess I was thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna get destroyed again. But I feel like maybe like towards like towards like my peak, at
right.
the end where I was like getting pretty good. I maybe could have gone past like the first round or something.
Well, and
Um,
when you go to tournaments and stuff, you kind of have to have that mentality that you're there for fun as
mhm.
well.
Yeah.
Um, because like when I went to indie pop cons, like yeah, it was a 5K tournament, but if I don't have fun when I'm there, I literally just like would have driven 10 hours for nothing.
Yeah.
You
True.
know,
Yeah.
it's like you gotta have a good time. So you know, we got a campground for the night or whatever at a KOA campground or something, and
That's
had
cool.
some fun while we were there. Walked around the convention after I got eliminated and whatnot, and which, by the way, it was like the top 4 people got prize money. I got 5th.
Dang, that's so
So
tough. That is so
so it was
unfortunate.
like, what are you gonna do? Am I right? You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
uh, sad times, but you know, and I have an experience of being right below that cutoff line in tournaments. It's great. You
Mm-hmm.
know, during the Wilder Open tournament,
Yeah.
for Hearthstone, which I did in like 2017 or 2018 or something. I joined. You know, it's an open tournament, so it's going to be really popular for Hearthstone. Which Wild is like, you know, the standard, and there's Wild. You know, the formats for the game. So okay, I'll
Not really.
explain it real quick for those of you who don't understand how the card games work in the modern societies and whatnot. Anyways, Hearthstone, they come out with new cards every quarter or so, right? A new like 100 and something cards get
Right.
released, and so they can't keep all of them in the meta constantly. So what they do is they have 2 formats. One's called Standard and one's called Wild. The Standard format is all of the cards that have been released within the last 2 years.
Mm.
Everything else gets put into what's called a Wild format. So if you use those cards in your deck, you're in like a different pool of players.
Oh, okay.
So it's all the cards that have ever been released for Hearthstone, right?
Right.
Which, I mean, it's slightly different than Magic because they can nerf and buff cards because it's completely online, right?
Yeah.
Where in Magic the Gathering, like, these cards have been printed. You can't just, you know, say, you know what, I want this to be a little bit stronger now or a little bit weaker now. So in
Yeah.
Hearthstone, like, they can change things around a little bit. But, so, we're talking, like, over 1,000 different cards, right?
Yeah.
And so there's so many different archetypes and styles and how aggressive decks can be in the Wild Open and whatnot. And so and you know, this tournament has probably like 400 players or something that signed up for it.
Right.
Maybe a little bit less. I think our bracket had 122 players, and you played 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you like if you went 7-0, you obviously like won, but it would like seed you up against opponents based off of that. I ended up going 5-2, which put me in 13th place according to the stats. And they only took like the top 8, so it's like, you know, but that means if I would have gone 6-1, I would have been in, right? If I would have just won one more, it's like, you know, 5-2 is pretty good. Give me a break here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you played Apex and won 5 games and lost 2, you'd be pretty big chillin', right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Uh,
I mean, I feel like, if it's in a 1v1 format, that's pretty decent.
well, and they were best of 3s.
Right.
So each match was a best of 3. So
Okay.
it's like,
Yeah, that's cool.
it is what it is. But it's a lot of fun. I actually have really enjoyed like all the tournaments and like learning about how tournaments are set up, honestly. Like the different formats, Conquest, which are usually like based around how you ban things.
Right.
Right. So in Hearthstone, you submit I'm gonna say so if it's a best of one, you'd submit 3 deck lists or something, right? And you can see your opponent's deck lists, and then you could say, you know what, I don't want to fight against this one. My decks are not suited to fight that, right? So you'd ban that one, and then they'd ban one of yours, and then you could pick between the 2 that you have.
Okay.
Is like one of the formats, right?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And there's elimination formats. There's all kinds of different tournament formats, which I've been enjoying and been actually using a lot more since I'm an event organizer now. So it's kind of nice to know that I learned all this stuff.
Yeah. I think that would be pretty dope if banning was a thing in Apex. Like if in ranked people would just like vote on characters to ban, or if even in comp there was like like rule bans where it's like, okay, you can't have this character or whatever.
Yeah,
because there are some pretty ridiculous characters in the game now.
And there's a lot now,
yeah.
Right? Like it wasn't like when the game was just released, and I played it when it was just released, where they had like 8-10 champions or something.
Right.
And everybody's brand new, just testing out. It's like, what do you like the most? It's now like which champion goes best with the team's abilities and stuff like that as well.
Yep. I think there's been like 9 new characters added in addition to the OG like 6. Am I wrong about that? Hold on. Apex. Oh wait, that was just it right there.
I thought it was 8.
8, yeah, it was 8 originally, and then 9 were added. So right, 3, 6. What is 6 times 3? 18, right?
18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 19. Why are there so many? Wait, what? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. There's 19 characters right now. So that means they added 11. So they just added one every season. I don't know why I'm making this weird.
Yeah, I was about to ask you how often they add one.
Yeah, why did
maybe we should have gone that order.
Why did I think that there wasn't one added in season 1? But that doesn't make any sense because I'm not okay. Anyways, all right.
It's fine,
dude. Here's a weird fun fact. So Apex came out with ranked like season 2, right?
Okay.
So they start like it went. So it's season 2 of the game, and season 1 of ranked. Next season 3 of the game, season 2 of ranked. So eventually,
it's one behind. It's lagging behind.
Well, eventually it got to the point where they were like, okay, this is dumb.
Yeah.
So let's just change it to the current one. So there's like a missing ranked season because it like skipped a number because they had to bump it up.
Well, there's no reason to have. Why should ranked need a season counter in the first place?
I don't know.
I mean,
it's just to keep
I
track
guess to keep track of like when it resets, but
it's also,
it just resets every season, right?
Yeah, it also keeps track of like what your progress has been, right? So you can go back and be like, okay, so in season 2, like I was platinum or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's just so you can see like, what season you had a specific rank in. My whole thing with Apex right now is that I want to hit Masters so bad.
Oh, I know.
Like, that's like, and so that's why I'm like
every
grinding
time I'm
ranked
like,
all
hey
the time.
Stu, you wanna do something? He's like, I'm grinding Apex.
I'm unranked.
I'm ranked.
I'm grinding ranked.
Don't you know it's ranked day?
Diamond gamers? Any Diamond gamers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really want to get to Masters so that I can just like relax and be like, wow, I did it. I've completed the mission.
I am the Apex champion.
Yeah, and I don't care about Pred because I know that's gonna take me a while to hit. I just want to hit Masters and be like, all right, Sick. Did that. Now I can like focus on making content and just like doing whatever.
I get that, dude. That was like Hearthstone for me for a long time when I was doing the competitive stuff, right? It's like, so you like all of the good players are either are legend, pretty much, right? So the way it works on Hearthstone is, well, it used to. You start at 20. This is back then. They changed the ranking system, so it's nothing like what it is now. They actually have like tiers like silver, gold, etc. now.
Right.
But it was 20, and you'd work your way down to 1, and after you've won 5 wins on 1, you'd hit legend.
Sick.
Right. And so it would be like every time you win a game, you'd gain a star. Every time you'd lose a game, you'd lose a star.
Right.
Right. And you'd have to get 5 stars at every tier. So like you could see and feel yourself progress, but it would be such a grind. Because let's say you win, 2 out of 3 games, you'd move forward 2, go back 1. You'd move forward 2, you go back 1, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the slowest grind ever. And it takes so long, especially from rank 5 to legend, which I remember my first time doing was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because it takes such a long time. Because at that point, most of the people are doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? All trying to, with hit legend, etc. Whether it's for their first time or whatnot. And it's like, look, man, just let me back in. Let me in. Let me in. Just one in the door.
Yeah. I think it's been that way for a lot of people ranking recently, where it'll be like positive, negative, positive, negative. So it feels like you don't go anywhere. You're just kind of there. Can you walk away? Just walk away. You're making so much noise. You lay down or something. You always ruin my podcast. All right, she's just gonna stand there. Wait, where'd you go? No, I was talking to the dog. You weirdo.
Oh, I'm on the way back.
Look at me, like, you just appear. Yeah. You actually just vanished.
I actually came from behind the curtain. It feels like, but there's no curtain. You don't need a green screen for this.
I can't grab the green screen. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. It's not here. Oh, my hand is like webbed.
Hey, I'm highlighting stuff on the wall with my hand. Look at that. Oh, over here. Oh, look.
Yeah, I can make my table appear. Look at this.
It just blends right in, bro. I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Appreciate you coming on. You can go ahead and plug yourself if you want.
Sure. I'm Stickman Ninja on all socials, and there's no I in Stick, so it's STCK. Man Ninja. And I have YouTube, I have Twitch, I have Twitter, I have friends, hopefully.
Cries.
Remember, when you go to my Twitter, you'll see EvoTech event organizer.
Right. Yes. Very important.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys for listening / watching. Be sure to check out all the socials for the podcast. We now have a YouTube channel, a Clips channel, a TikTok, a Twitter, all that good stuff. So be sure to check all of that out. There will be a link tree in the YouTube video and all that good stuff. So yeah, appreciate you guys listening / watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.